Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. Today I'm going to start with a mini update about my weight loss and how that's going. And then I'm going to kind of do, what do I have? 5 truths about Mounjaro Tirzepatide, because that's what I've been on the last couple months. I will try to put a timestamp if you're just here for the 5 truths, but I am going to start with a mini update. So, as of today, I've lost 36 pounds. I started on phentermine in April, and so April to May would have been my first month. And so I was on that for 3 or 4 months. I did not like the side effects. And so it wasn't until the end of July that I started on Tirzepatide, which is the compound version of Mounjaro. And when my first month of 2.5, I lost about 10 pounds. My second month of 5 milligrams, I lost about 10 pounds. And then I stalled. So I'm on my first shot of 7.5. Like I said, I did 2 months of 5 milligrams. My second month was kind of a letdown. Basically, it allowed me to maintain. So I maintained my weight for that whole time, which was nice. I was been very worried about losing weight too fast. At the same time, it's frustrating because you're paying for a medication and it doesn't seem to be working. I'm not super excited right now about 7.5 either. So the jury's still out. It is absolutely better than not being on it. But so far, it hasn't really been award-winning. Although this was the first, I think I've been on it for like 3 days. This is the first time the scales budged. So I went down 1.2, like somewhere in the last week. And I don't know whether it was that 7.5 or just happened to be. But anywho, back in the day when I was on Weight Watchers, I would do what I would white knuckle it. I would be good as long as I could be good before I went off the rails. But no matter what, I always ended up going off the rails. And it worked. I kept off 75 pounds for close to 10 years before I got pregnant. But it was white knuckling it. And I would be good for 6 weeks, and then I would kind of be bad for 2 weeks. And then I would get back on it and be good for a few weeks, and I'd be bad. And it was not sustainable, probably not healthy. There were a lot of bad foods. I had a lot of things. So my big thing is food noise, and I'm never full. And so growing up, I always wondered why. I just really thought my stomach was bigger than everybody else's. And if I ate 2 Oreos, there was just this trigger in my head, I would eat 30 Oreos. So I will have to say, being on this medicine is just so nice. Even on the months where I'm not necessarily losing weight, because I still on the second month of 5, I was still getting some food noise. But it's so much better than what it was. In the last couple of years, my food noise had elevated, especially a week or 2 before my period. So it is very nice not to have to worry. I won't say I have a new relationship with food. While I'm on the medicine, I have a new relationship. The minute I stop the medicine, it'll go back. But I don't worry about food anymore. I don't worry. If somebody brings donuts to work, I might have a half or I have a fourth. And I don't think about it because it's not going to trigger me. I'm not going to sit there and eat 3 donuts like I might have in the past. And it is so nice to have that weight off my shoulder. So I do like the medicine. I really don't have side effects. And so I'm lucky in that regard. And I feel like on the medicine, it's kind of hard to super overeat because your body will tell you, hey, you're super full, stop. Where I didn't have that before. I could eat a gigantic amount before anything ever triggered that I am full. So that's where we're kind of at with the mini update. I will say I also struggle because in most of my life, I'm always in losing weight mode. I have not ever really maintained. I've never been where I just eat a set calories to maintain for 5 years. And so that 4 weeks of maintenance, even though I didn't gain weight, in my mind, I kind of felt bad or fat or whatever. And so I still struggle with body image, feeling fat, what have you. I will say, I knew this. I've been in the misses category before. I've lost basically two top sizes and two bottom sizes. And so now I'm a size 14 and I'm a size extra large, depending on the thing. I've always struggled with how pants fit. And so I kind of am a little annoyed that I can't just go buy a 14 and have them fit. I can't just go buy a large or extra large and have it fit. It's a constant. You never know what's going to fit. If it fits, you feel awesome about yourself. If it doesn't fit, you don't feel so awesome about yourself. So I struggle with that. And I've always been like a needle in a haystack pant person. And I think I have to retrain my thought. Even though I'm not plus size anymore, I'm still having issues with clothes. And it just kind of is. Some clothes run big, some clothes run small. Anywho. So I will say I was getting a little disheartened because, again, sometimes like the clothes fit, sometimes they don't. All right. So I want to talk about kind of what I kind of think 5 truths about Mounjaro, Tirzepatide. These are just my opinions. You don't have to agree with them. Please don't come after me. It's okay if we don't agree. This is just my experience from starting it, watching videos on YouTube on it. When I started this, I also joined a Facebook group, and it's very interesting. People are very polarized one way or the other on some of this stuff. So my first truth is everybody reacts differently. So you may watch 1,000 videos and everybody's puking their guts out, and it's not going to happen to you. Everybody is different. Your symptoms, the food noise, the appetite on this medicine are all different. And I feel like a lot more people have very minor symptoms, but I'm not sure those are the videos people watch or the comments that get made on the Facebook group. So take everything you're watching with a grain of salt. Do your research. I've never once been nauseous. I get heartburn from time to time, but mine has been very mild. Maybe the first week of 5 milligrams was a little bit rough, but honestly, I take a couple times and it goes away. So I've been very lucky in the symptom department. Now, there are these people who seem to have zero appetite on this medicine. That has not been my experience. I am very much hungry generally. The first week on 2.5, I was super not hungry, but in general, I am hungry every day. Food noise for me on 2.5 and my first month of 5 was very much reduced. I would say almost non-existent. My second round of 5, I had more food noise, but it was controllable. And so I think even with food noise, everybody is different. So that's my first truth. You cannot go in expecting a textbook reaction. Everybody has a different experience. My second sort of truth for Mounjaro Tirzepatide is it's not a free pass. I kind of walked in thinking, this is the Taj Mahal of weight loss drugs. I am going to just breeze right through. You hear all these stories of people dropping 80 pounds in a very short time, 60 pounds, 50 pounds, 150 pounds. And so I kind of expected for it just to be a breezy, easy, just weights flying off. And for me, that has not been the case. For some people it is, but you still have to put in the work. And so that's kind of I think my truth more than it's not a free pass. You have to put in the work still. Healthy eating. If you've never tried to eat healthier, I do feel like you need to educate yourself. How many calories do you need to eat? What's a serving size? What are some, better foods? Practicing moderation. Because I'm not a believer in you're supposed to white knuckle it and never have ice cream or cake again. But balance is key. Exercise, if you can, is always going to kind of increase your healthiness. And finding a plan that works for you. Some people love keto. Some people could never imagine that. So you have to find a plan long-term that can work for you. And because for me, my appetite, I do feel full faster. My brain says, hey, you're full, stop eating. And I think that's how I've been able to lose weight. But I'm hungry. And I have, again, very much suppressed food noise, but it sometimes does leak through. So I still have to practice making good choices, asking myself, am I really hungry? So you still have to put in the work. This is not some magical fix that's just going to make it all better. Truth number 3. which I feel like is seemingly going hand in hand with 2. But anyway, I wrote these out a little bit ago. It's not a magic pill for everyone. So that kind of does go kind of hand in hand, but it's not a magic pill for everybody. Some people have crazy bad symptoms. Some people don't have any symptoms. And I've seen a lot of comments in the kind of chat group on Facebook of like, oh, this is like healing my relationship with food. It's a BandAid for the relationship with your food, in my personal opinion. For whatever reason, I think I took a week off. I don't know why. But I skipped a week. The noise comes back. So if you're not on the medication, all of your problems come back. So it is nice for the last few months. I don't have to worry about overeating. I can eat 3 Oreos and I'm done. I don't worry about being triggered into eating a whole bag of Oreos, which I have done many times in my life. My husband helps, which is not really the best idea there. So it's a BandAid, in my opinion, for your relationship with food, because if I go off this medicine, I will be triggered again eventually by the Oreos or whatever your triggers are. So it is not a magic pill, and it is not a permanent magic pill. It only works for as long as you're taking it. So I think people forget that because you're on it for so long, you think it's like a permanent, but it's not. Because sadly, and this also kind of helped me with this process, is obesity is a disease. And I think for like 90% of us or more, it is literally a chemical imbalance in your head. Like I said, I always thought my stomach was bigger than everybody else's. Why am I never full? Why am I never satisfied? On this medicine, again, my brain is like, hey, you're full, stop eating. And it's very hard to overeat because your brain is sending strong signals of, hey, you're full. But when you don't take the medicine, it comes back. And I wish there was some permanent thing they could do to make my receptors do the work. But sadly, my receptors are, I don't know, they were dead on arrival. All right. Truth number 4. Don't believe everything you hear in the groups, in the videos. Don't compare yourself with others. I think that is very dangerous. And that happens a lot in the chat groups. Like, you hear all these sensational stories of I lost 80 pounds in 3 months. I mean, big numbers. I'm losing 10 pounds a week. I personally don't think that's healthy, but you choose how you want the thing to work for you. And, don't assume you're going to lose weight fast. Don't assume you're going to have lots of symptoms. You can't believe everything you hear. Every person reacts a little bit differently. I do think probably the majority of people don't have that bad of symptoms. And I really think the comparing yourself game is really, really hard. There are so many factors in weight loss. How old you are, how tall, how big are you to start. People who weigh 300 pounds lose weight easier than if you weigh 150. So there are so many variables that predict how you're going to lose weight that it is harmful to do the compare yourself game. And then my last kind of truth is you have to find ways not to be discouraged, because I feel like no matter what weight loss you plan on, you're going to look at, Susie over there who's just lost 80 pounds in 2 months. And you're going to look at Johnny over there who's had no symptoms. And then you're on the struggle bus losing 5 pounds in a month and you're puking every day. So you have to find ways not to get discouraged. And I'm finally out of that, but I was getting discouraged because I basically maintained, which is a good thing, for 4 to 5 weeks. But I was getting discouraged. Like, what am I doing wrong? I'm still fat. I don't fit in these clothes. And I think it's easy to have the negative self-talk, and you have to find ways to not get discouraged. I'm very bad. I wish I had more beginning photos. I wish I took measurements. You really need those things to look back on. In the beginning, when clothes were kind of flying off, as in they were too big, that's a really big positive feedback. But if you're maintaining, your clothes aren't doing that, which is, again, okay. But I feel like in the weight loss world, we're so used to just focusing on losing weight that it feels bad to maintain. So I feel like you really have to try to remind yourself how far you've come. You don't want to go back to the place you started. You want to keep going. And again, when I started, I thought it was going to be a magic bullet, and it's been awesome, but it wasn't just this easy breezy drop 100 pounds in 2 seconds kind of thing. And I wouldn't want it to be, but I think you have to find ways to not be discouraged. So anyway, those are kind of like, that's kind of my little update, my little truths. So far I am really liking it, but again, I feel like, I don't know. I have to manage my expectations because I guess I'm not taking my own advice. I thought maybe I would lose faster. I don't know. But at the same time, my goal has been, I know this sounds really weird, but it was a trick I learned in Weight Watchers. Go to the grocery store and pick up like 10, 20 pound bags of potatoes because I feel like I have come a long way. 36 pounds is a lot. And if I went to the store and I picked up those bags of potatoes, it would be like, wow, that weight is off of me. So again, I feel like we have to find ways to keep motivated. Anyway, you guys are beautiful just as you are, and I hope you have success in everything you're trying. So have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.